Good morning. It's good to see you here again. It seems like forever since we were able to be together in church. I think this is like the fourth or the fifth week in a row that I've had to do our children's message on the camera for you. We'll pray that in a week or two we might be able to get back together again. That would be great. I brought something with you this morning. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. We'll hold it up. It's a train. In fact, it's Thomas the train, right? Trains are fun to play with, aren't they? When my nephew Troy, who's in his 20s now, was growing up, he loved Thomas the Tank Engine, and he always asked me to play with him. And I always wanted to be Thomas, but he always made me be Diesel. It wasn't until much later that I found out that Diesel wasn't a very good train. But it would have been fun to be able to play with Thomas. Raise your hand at home like this if you have a toy train that you can play with. Hopefully that's something that you have time to do when you're finished with all your online homework that you have to do right now. Trains that are real, though, are huge. They're just so big. In fact, a train that's real is so big that it wouldn't even fit in our church. As big as the church seems, especially compared to being at home all the time right now. Raise your hand again like this if you've ever seen a real train. Real trains are powerful, aren't they? And strong. Do you think if a train was coming, you'd be able to stop it? Could you just yell, "Train, stop!" and it would? Probably not, right? Or, what about if you grabbed it by the caboose and pulled as hard as you could? Do you think you could stop the train? I doubt it. It's pretty strong, isn't it? In fact, there's a fact about trains that I learned that could be your science lesson for today since we're online. It takes 1 mile for a train to slow down and stop. So that's pretty strong and powerful in a long time, so none of us would be able to stop it. In our first reading this morning that we're going to have in the church service that you might listen to a little bit later, we hear a man say that God couldn't be stopped. Let me read it to you. It goes like this. "Leave these men alone. Let them go. For if their purpose or activity is of human origin, it will fail. But if it is from God, you will not be able to stop these men. You will only find yourself fighting against God." Do you remember hearing about Peter in Sunday school when we could have it like we used to? Peter was a very good friend of Jesus, and he was telling people how Jesus died on the cross right before the reading that I shared with you, and how he had risen from the grave on Easter that we celebrated last week, right? And Peter was sharing God's love also with the people. And the Pharisees and the Sadducees, some of the leaders of the church, were really mad, and they wanted Peter to stop talking about Jesus. And then this man named Gamaliel stood up in front of the group and said, "If this message is from God, then you won't be able to stop these men. Just like you couldn't stop a real train no matter how hard you tried, you can't stop God. God is strong and mighty, and he always acts in love, and he cares about each one of us. If God has a plan, then we won't be able to stop it." Do you know what some of God's plans are? Unfortunately, we can't talk it back and forth about it, but let me share one. The Bible tells us that God had a plan for everyone to hear about the love of Jesus, and that God also has a plan for your life. Now, it seems like that might be all mixed up right now. You can't go to school, you have to do it online, you can't hang out with your friends. In fact, school isn't going to start till next fall again. And you can't be around people, and it's difficult. And so sometimes we don't know what God is planning. But we can, even in this difficult time, trust his love and know that that God has in mind what's best for us. And we know that his plan is for us to be with him in heaven someday, because Jesus died and rose to take us there. So, a train is big and strong, right? But God, and that's my message for you today, is bigger and stronger. And he's full of love for us, for his children. So let's thank God for his great love and his plan for our lives. And like we always do, I'll say the prayer, give you a pause, and you can repeat after me. Dear God, we thank you for your great love and for your plan that you have for each of us. Amen. Now, the last of all of these videos I made, each one ended with a song that I sang with you. I have a song for you this morning too, but it's a little longer song and one that I don't know as well as I should. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach a link to a video for the song. It's called God Is So Strong, and it's one that I know you've sung in Sunday school. And hopefully either you or your parents can click on the link, and then you can sing along with the song, and the words will be printed there. My prayer for you this week is that everything continues to go well, and that you can be strong and confident, knowing that God is taking care of you, that he's stronger than the train. He was so strong that he brought Jesus back from the dead for you. Have a good week, and I hope to see you soon.